Yeah, I got the handheld because I got the handheld joint. But yeah, back at it. Monday night means another edition, another Monday, doing it big with my man Drew, and we got a special guest appearing on this show for the first time, the one and only Demond Sproul, Big Cuzzo.
Me? What's going on, Cuzzo? Me? All right, I'm back. What's up? Well,
We
first
can't
time me,
keep.
I should say.
Yeah. Well, you can't get we can't get rid of him as much as much as we want to.
Oh man, I'm like a dirty stain. Yeah, I can't get rid of this damn stain. What's going on?
Dirty D stain.
Dirty D.
We just checking in with like I said, another exciting edition of M&M. I think that's gonna be the short M&M. And talking.
Would that be a trademark infringement? You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
not as initials. Not as initials. If it's just M&M.
So what's gonna be yours? So M&M got mom spaghetti. Cuzzo, what you gonna have? You gotta get you a dish. You going M&M, Cuzzo? You gotta get you a dish.
It's gonna be Auntie's green.
It could be you. It could be so many things. It could be the greens you eat, the greens
Grandma's potato salad.
Grandma's potato salad.
Yeah. That mom spaghetti is kind of interesting. If I go to Detroit, I'm gonna try to hit that up. That and Dilla's Donuts. They have a whole Detroit musical food odyssey.
Oh my God! It went from making cars to now rappers with food items, with delicacies and stuff.
You got to do something to bring people in there. Detroit's had some rough times.
It's rough up in the D. It's rough in the D.
It's cold in the D.
It's cold in the D.
And you know what? That fits our beginning to the show because two Detroit teams got sent out of Chicago pretty coldly over yesterday, and not of course the Lions did. Of course, we'll get into that right away. But the Tigers, the Tigers won. They were the only team that won in Chicago yesterday. That wasn't a Chicago team, but they, that was a worthless win for them. The Sox didn't really have to worry about that. It was a pretty exciting, busy day in the city yesterday. You had like 3 games of substance that were happening right, within like 2 miles of each other. I guess you could say, the Bears at Soldier Field beating the Lions. Of course, the Sky, which we're definitely gonna get into, winning the semifinal playoff game, Game 3. A big game that I was at personally against the Connecticut Sun, just south of Soldier Field, and a little bit further south and west of there, you had the Sox ending their regular season with the Detroit Tigers ending that series. They lost, like I say, they lost that game. It didn't really matter. Nothing was won, lost, or gained with that one. But and we'll get into that too, of course, later. Maybe preview a little bit of the ALDS that's to come, because the Sox know who they're going to play in that round. There's also the matter of who's going to fill out the other half of the bracket in the playoffs, because you got the Red Sox and the Yankees who are going to face off with each other in the wild card game, and winner of that will face Tampa Bay. But let's keep it Chicago for now, though. Of course, let's start off with those Bears. And D, you were at the game. I wasn't at the game. I kindly turned it down for this week. But you were there in the stands amongst the people, and it was a pretty positive event. All things considered. You had the Bears win, of course. You had Justin Fields showing the talent that we were expecting to see from him. He was actually allowed to throw the ball upfield, and interestingly enough, and we come to find out that, because the guy who we all want to call the plays is calling the plays again, Bill Lazor, and Matt Nagy is, he kindly remind us that he's still the boss. I love a boss that has to remind that he's the boss. But he kindly, he so graciously gave up the play calling, and it seemed to work for the Bears again. Who'd have thunk it? But the Bears win 24-14. Like I said, a lot of good connections from Fields to Darnell Mooney to Allen Robinson. Bears utilized the run game to great effect. Montgomery with 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. But injury towards the end of the game, it's always the Bears can't just never have a clean win. It's always got to be something involved with it. But they're 2-2 now. They got a chance to go 3-2 to have a winning record. They travel to Vegas this coming Sunday, but keeping it in the present and the near past. What were your thoughts on that game yesterday, D? And what was your observances of the game?
Well, I'll tell you this much. So we went and got something to eat before. It was me, the missus, my aunt and her boyfriend, right? So we went to get something to eat beforehand. So we trying to get over there, right? We took the bus over there trying to, get over there. They ain't want to walk. Like, come on, let's walk. I ain't walking nowhere. The CTA bus driver, so all you do is ride the bus. I'm like, I'm getting on the bus. We can go for free. I'm like, all right, fine. So as we walking in, I'm hearing cheer after cheer after cheer. I'm like, man, what's happening? I'm like, damn, Detroit must be doing their thing. And then I hear the Bear Down song. I'm like, oh, did we score? Like, it's 12-11. How the hell we score so fast? Maybe we ran back a punt return. I don't know. As we're walking through Soldier, we hearing 12-play drive and this and this. I'm like, damn, what's happening? So check this out. I had no idea that Bill Lazor was calling the plays. I'm thinking, damn, well, okay, maybe Nagy, saying to kind of open it up. I had no idea that Lazor was calling the plays. And then we watched the whole entire game, great seats, had a great time. Fans around us was cool. A lot of Detroit fans, but everything was good time, man. Good time, man. Great seats, right? South end zone, right behind it, right? So at the end, I'm walking out. Well, we headed back to the car, beat the thunderstorm just in time. I throw on the radio, and they started talking about Bill Lazor. I said, well, damn it, that's why. That Nagy had no fingerprints on this. I'm like, well, damn, that's why we scored 24 points. So just seeing them on the field, man, it was great to see Fields out there. Now, there's still a few rookie mistakes here and there. Young man, hold on the ball with 2 hands, tuck it like this if you're trying to get away. Because I'm seeing too many fumbles from the young fella. But he's young though, so I give him some slack on that. But hold on to the ball a little bit more.
He's a rookie, so he's gonna do things like that.
You got to break them bad college habits. You got to break them.
Exactly.
But yeah,
he's got to get baptized by fire.
Right, and he's got to learn how to be a professional in that. The game has been easy for him at every level. He's got to learn what the game is like when he's challenged.
But the good thing about it is Lazor made it easy for him. Like a lot of the passes, the one pass to I think it was Mooney down the field. We actually got there. It was I think maybe the second or third drive. Might have been that second drive. The pass, like a 64-yard pass. My man, make it easy for him. That's the one thing about any person in leadership. Make it easier for your underlings or your employees, your players, whatever like that. Make it easy for them so they can succeed. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just make it easy for them.
And play to their strengths.
And play to their talents and play to their strengths. The one thing that should have happened in Cleveland, and listen, I'm gonna let you know right up front. Drew, I don't know what you know about myself, man, but I'm gonna tell you something about myself. Ever since me and Ken was on the score, we was doing the overnights for Les Grobstein, whatever case might be. I've been saying for years, brother, Nagy shouldn't. He wasn't a dude. Can't even say it on the podcast talking to that guy. Said, damn it, you should have said my name to him because he a bum. Yeah, listen, Drew, everybody out there, Nagy's not a good coach. He's not a good head coach. He'll motivate you. I can find a brother on 79th and Hosted to motivate you. This dude, he can't coach. I'm sorry, he's not a good leader of men. He's not a good leader of men when it comes to actually on the field utilizing their talents to win football games. He's not it.
See, I'm kind of willing to disagree with that as far as the actual leading of people, because we talk
motivate you, cuzzo.
But yeah, the motivating, and also just keeping a certain attitude amongst your team. Because that's the one thing that I'll give them credit for amongst all this madness of the past couple of years is that the locker room hasn't turned on. At least because to the degree where we could see it from the outside. There hasn't been an uprising in that way.
Kyle, after that Cleveland game, I'm sure we've all been in locker rooms and interviewed people, right? We've been there. I'm sure a few of them looking at each other like, man, what the is this? The only reason why I think he was able to get a pass for it because they were luck. I don't say luck up because to win any NFL game is hard, but they've been able to at least make it to the playoffs. And then they get smoked in the first half. I mean, smoked in the first game and then they out, right? See, that's the thing. When you get to the dance, you never know what can happen, right? The Giants with Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. How the hell did that happen? But it happened. So as long as you get there, right? But if you have a dude that you can consistently, like, man, my grandma know this dude suck. If you can, your auntie know this dude suck, cuz if you can see this, it's a problem. So my whole point of saying this is the game in Cleveland should have been a showcase for your 2 tight end sets, protection, and running the football. And it was the complete opposite. But what did we see in Detroit? Mass protection, running the football, everything opened up. Now, if I could see that, damn it, come on, man. But thankfully, Bill Lazor took over the play calling and he did it. And then, as you said, he got to take credit for it.
Yeah.
Got to be saying everywhere.
What Drew, right quick, I think getting back again to Nagy's strengths and potential strengths and weaknesses. I think again his weakness definitely is in his strategizing, his ability to adjust, not a mid-game and even mid-week or mid-opponent. It's like he does it. He's the kind of just he has a plan and he tries to stick with it. He's willing to go down with the ship no matter what. And I think to a certain degree that there's a confidence there that is, in good times like in 2018, it could be a good thing, but in other times like in the past, actually it benefited them last year too because it got them through that horrible stretch and allowed them to still get to the playoffs. But a lot happened around them too that allowed them to get into the playoffs back door. I don't see that I didn't see that happening this year where the NFC is a bit tougher, their schedule is tougher, and they got to, there's less excuses this year. There's less room for him to breathe now, and I think he's felt it to the degree where we get to the point where today, sort of skipping ahead, where he's back to that, if he's healthy, Andy Dalton's playing, because again, he has to have the way things go the way that he wants, even though he saw for all intents and purposes yesterday that if things go different away from what they did the first 3 games, then they will finally have success. But he has to go backwards again to this comfort zone, because for what I still don't understand why, but he's doing it because in charge, and whatever he says goes, everything goes through him, and yada yada yada. And that's definitely a failing on his part. It's a failure of leadership, and it's ridiculous. It's gonna be what leads him out the door eventually.
Yeah, I never really understood why the play calling went back to him in the first place. Like, I understand that Bill Lazor took over doing a soft part of their schedule, but if you see it working, why go back to what you saw was not working? You know what I'm saying? And then to go through the rigmarole yesterday of not wanting to say that Bill Lazor was a play caller, it's just very weird, man. I tweeted this out. Like, I watching this press conferences, like, I want to like this dude. I really do, man. And I understand, you know, watching that, how his players, you know, they want to run through a brick wall for him, or at least it seems that way, because there ain't been no mutinies or anything. But at the same point, like D is saying, like both of y'all are saying, the adjustments, man, it's just, that's real bad, man. That's real bad.
You know what he's like. You know what he's like. Everybody talk about Ted Lasso nowadays. He got the can-do attitude, but he has none of the emotional awareness that Ted Lasso has.
He can't read the room.
Attitude and none of the self-awareness, and he doesn't have the assistant coach either to help him.
I was going to go another way. I was going to say, Nagy reminds me of my daughter. She's now 9. Shout out to you, Grace. He reminds me of Grace when she was about 5, when we was playing hide and seek, maybe 4. She would always go back to the same spot. I said, "Damn, Grace, I know where you're going to be. You need to switch things up. Don't just have behind the door. Maybe get in the shower, pull the curtain. You know, switch things up. Hey, man, you ain't got to keep throwing that out, right? That little swing pass, that little terrible screen, brother. Everybody done seen it. You might want to switch things up." So that's the thing. He's like, his in-game adjustments, his adjustments week to week. Hell, how about play to play? You're a professional football coach. You're a professional football play caller. And I can tell, like, hey, brother, you might not want to throw that pass again. Damn it, he wants to do the pass again, Drew.
Yeah. You should have more.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's kind of like, brother, if I can see it, if we all can see it, I'm sure another professional coach can see it too. So that's the problem. And then, like Drew said, man, you go and then you had a press conference and you got to say, well, you know, everything still come back through me. Come on, brother. You just can't let nobody have fun today. You just got to come in here and mess things up. You know?
He can't go back to Dalton. Like, you can't do that, man. You can't. Like,
oh, yes, he can. Oh, Drew.
Okay, wait.
He
can, but he shouldn't. Like, the city will be coming for his head like never before. You can't do that. Like, this. When I was watching the game yesterday, I was watching Justin Fields, and I literally like, man, this dude looks like Russell Wilson out there, man. You know, we was pining for the Bears to make this miracle happen for Wilson in the offseason, knowing that, damn, it was not going to happen. And I'm watching this dude again. We got to say this, you know, before we say anything. It's the Detroit Lions. We got to throw that caveat out there, even though they've been playing hard for Dan Campbell.
They have.
But even still, man, this dude was rolling out that spin he put on my man. And, oh, my God, dude. It's just like you said in the beginning, Kyle, like it was everything that Bears fans have dreamed it would be since we traded up to get him in the draft. And you started this dude now 2 weeks in a row. He's came out in a god-awful game against Cleveland. Everybody is to blame for that. Had a much better showing with a much better round of play calling. Why not just stick with this dude and, you know, until, God forbid, injury, this dude is not giving that spot up. That's how it should be.
He can't.
Definitely.
He can't help
definitely. But he
can't help himself.
Again, right. He has. I think Nagy has to. He's maintaining control as much as he can because he knows the seat is hot under him, and that he can't. He has to control the narrative in some way because everything around him is like is undermining his leadership because he's undermining his own leadership, and he's overthinking it.
You 100% right, Drew. Let me ask y'all a question.
He's a constant overthinking.
Yeah. Let me ask y'all. Does this remind you of when Lovey got rid of Ron Rivera because he knew that Ron was possibly going to take his job?
Possibly, yeah. That? I mean, what I think a coach is probably a similar. What you say?
No, I was going to say with Lovey, everybody knew that Jay had a great coaching staff. Dave told Ron Rivera himself.
Yeah.
Who was the OC of that? Who was the offense coordinator of those teams? I can't remember who was the OC. But they had a nice coaching squad.
Particularly, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But they had a really good coaching squad. But they knew, like, man, this defense is humming. Dave told the special team is humming. You got a few Hall of Famers on that team, possibly Peanut, Olin Cruz, Lance Briggs, Devin Hester. You got some players on that squad. But Lovey started acting kind of like, I like this gig. Y'all might need to go. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's what kind of happened. So it just kind of reminds me of what's going on with Nagy. To your point, Drew, it's kind of like, dude, what are you talking about in this press conference? He has to sense, he has to know, like, dude, if my man's out here looking good, he's taking away my shine. He's taking away my glow. You know, saying, no, baby, this is all me. I gave him those lines.
So what you're talking about, you talking about my man's looking good. You're talking about Lazor?
Yeah, Lazor looking good. He out there calling plays. Justin Fields. Listen, Drew, I love Russell Wilson. I call him the great Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely can see this kid. That's my guy. I can see the potential that he can have. It's similarities, I should say. Yeah. But Lazor out here making my man's look good, making Fields look good, and now you got to be on the side like, hey man, hold on, brother. Hold on, pimp. This is. I'm still running this ship. You know what I'm saying? So he has to see some type of sense of jealousy, probably, or kind of like, I don't want to get outshined because listen, if they take off and they do well, and Lazor's still making the play calls, and let's just say the Bears miraculously win. I don't think they're gonna win no more than about 6 games. Let's say they win 7 to 8 games, maybe even 9 games. My man, we saw your resume. We saw what you've been doing. You suck. A man over here with this new toy is making it look good and running good. Bye-bye, kick rocks. So I'm sure that's probably why he's doing it. It has to be that sense of security. I need to stay.
That may be involved.
For 2 jobs.
Yeah, that may be involved. But I think we gotta look at the overall landscape of this. Is the Bears have never fired a coach mid-season, and few coaches have been so bad where they have been fired in the first quarter of a season. You know, Nagy, as much as he undermines himself, he's still a coach that's been to the playoffs 2 of his first 3 seasons as a coach, and the Bears are a 500 team as they stand. You know, maybe you could argue that they still played over. They're still playing over their heads because they could easily been 1-3. That Cincinnati game, they damn near gave up. So it's, it depends on. I need to know more about what the expectations are in-house and amongst those coaches and amongst those. It seems to me that they're a team that continually thinks that they are tender in the NFC, whereas we all see them as a team that needs to be thinking about the next 10 years rebuilding with around this brilliant young quarterback that we all feel has the future. But I think at too many of the people who are making the decisions for this team, I think they're focused on, well, let's get us this 10-7 record. Like D, you talk about they can win 7, 8. They try to be like, well, if we 11-6 this year, we all save jobs. So that's the mind state. I think that there's sort of a tonal dysfunction there with this, and I think with this team, with the media that covers them, and with the fan base, that we all looking at this team in different ways, and it just leads to this week to week. It's a different thing where what are we all seeing from this team, and what are the expectations for performance week to week, and that's why I think it comes back to when you have Nagy who is Cider. Like this is another guy another famous dysfunctional leader we can compare him to, George Bush, the decider. When you have a guy who is the decider, who is so focused in his deciding, he's going to be like, well, we go back to the plan that I instituted, because if there's no other reason. There's no other way we can go because I've gotten this far in life. I've gotten this far as a coach. I am the man to decide, and that's what it's going to be. So that it's unfortunate. I wish it was different, but we're going to see Andy Dalton when he's healthy enough play that quarterback position again. And the good thing though is that we can rely on the fact that Dalton's going to fail again. And we're going to see Justin. We're going to see Justin Fields as soon as Dalton's back on that field. Fields will be right there to back him up. So at least we have that going for us. We just have to have a guy in place now as coach who can, actually say, Justin, this team is yours. And I think that's going to be the next coach, unfortunately, not the current coach.
Yeah, do you make a good point in terms of maybe Nagy looking over his shoulder? To me, it wouldn't make sense, but it makes sense for him to be doing that because he constantly gets in his own way. Like, wouldn't this dude know that Bill Lazor finding success would also bring him success too? Like, it's crazy. Like, his success is your success, and I don't think management is even. I don't want to say smart enough because that's very rude. I'm trying not to be rude. I don't think they would fire Nagy if they were to get to 8 or 9 wins, even if Lazor was the reasoning behind the offense looking better. Like, I don't think they can put 2 and 2 together like that. They're too worried.
What does every great coach have? Great coaches have coaching trees. Nagy comes from one with Reed. So you have to empower your coordinators and allow them to create and innovate in ways that boost you up. But you also have to have that sort of core philosophy and coaching ability that you bring yourself as head coach. And Nagy doesn't have that. So that's why he's so insecure all the time, because I think it's an imposter syndrome thing. He's like, well, I'm just trying to get by. I don't want my side guy to outshine me.
Fake it till you make it, baby. Yeah,
right, fake it till you make it. So otherwise, every week there's a chance that the carpet could get thrown out from under me. So yeah, it's.
He walk in the house hall like, damn, that badge still work. All right, let's go. Listen.
And then that's why we had those. That's why he's like all calling plays again. That scheme looking a little bit too good.
So wait, the issue is though, because I mean, we had a win, but it's terrible when your city's your favorite city, your favorite team, football team has a win, you're still talking about your damn coach. The problem is, Drew, I think you have to be able to. You say you want to be rude. I only come up here once in a while so I can be rude. He doesn't like. He's not. I damn don't want to say he is a man enough to. He's not man enough to actually say I'm wrong. This is the 3rd time he's had to turn a play calling over to somebody else. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. If you can see it the first time, it's like, all right, okay, yeah, all right, okay, I got my stuff together. Let me try one more time. You do it 2 times to yourself. It's like, damn, come on now. And then you do it 3 times. What are you doing? So it's like he doesn't understand. He isn't man enough to say, you know what? I don't know how to coach a mobile, athletic quarterback. I can coach a statue. And that's why he likes Andy Dalton, because I'm guessing he's thinking like, he can run my offense. This young dynamic dude, I have no idea what to do with this boy. But that one right there, I can do it. I can do something with him. But the problem is,
gotta have a
and then so
you gotta have a blank slate, cuz he's like Bob Ross. You gotta have a blank slate.
That's probably on the money. That's on the money. But then if we say that, then some of that blame got to start going back to Ryan Pace too, because it's like, well, damn, you're not giving this dude the groceries he wants to cook with. You're giving him stuff he don't know. He'll have no clue what to do with.
But this is a problem, though, Drew.
Drew, you great for mentioning. We always should mention Pace because they should go out the door together.
And D was saying
the one thing about Pace, because he never talks.
I don't care if he talks.
Enough.
He sucks as building teams. He could be a mute for all I care. He can do.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying though. This is what I'm saying. See what we've been half hour now, and I got to get us back on track. But what we've been doing for a half hour now,
run us back in, man. Run me back in.
We've been psychologically breaking down Nagy, but he offers us enough where it's like we have to think every day, like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? So Pace, because he just gets to step back and make dumb decisions. We can only judge him by the decisions. We can't judge him psychologically. So that's why he doesn't come up in the discussions as much. And also it's natural when you're breaking down a football team to judge the coach more than the general manager, even though the general manager makes really more important decisions year to year. But I'm finished by saying this. Yeah, they are tied into each other. They should be. They didn't come in at the same time, but they need to leave at the same time. If the Bears don't do that, they're going to set back the future of the franchise even more. So we can't let Pace off the hook at any time. Whenever we're talking about Nagy and his faults and the things that he's not doing, we have to keep that in our mind too. That the environment has been set by GM who has failed in so many ways too.
My man signed a left tackle that was out fishing. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. That's the best he could do. Yeah, that's the best he could do. Like, you had Trent Brown out there. You had Williams from Washington, who was like the best left tackle in the league. People said he goes to the 49ers. There was options out there in this offseason, but no, they wait until 2 weeks before the season start and say, "Hey, homeboy, you tired of catching them fish? We got a job for you." That's the Bears. That's the Bears for you.
And then the offensive coordinator, the head coach, offensive coordinator is like, "Yeah, we just gonna do a whole bunch of up under center drop back passes for 5 yards. What am I supposed to do with that?
Right.
Isn't that Miles Garrett right there? Ah, shit." Hold on, Drew. Let me just throw my body in front of him. I'm gonna take him out by the knees. Oh my God.
Yeah. But I want to, before we get off the Bears, because we gotta do that quick. I want to talk about I want to talk about the successful teams in town, the purely successful teams, not the potentially. But I know this. I know you'll love this, D, since he got you on. I just saw this on Twitter. There's a tweet from the Sun Times, the comment editorial they put out today, or not, actually yesterday. The Chicago Bears worth $4 billion, foot the bill alone for any new stadium, and I know that's right along with your major thinking, publicly funded stadiums. I know you're purely for privately funded, and I've seen a couple articles over the past couple of days, and one was pretty well reported, researched, talking about how the state uniformly against any. There's no politicians out there who has any money. Not in Arlington Heights, Chicago.
Oh, really?
They like, look, y'all want to do all this mess, spend your own damn. I know that's right up your alley, cuz.
It's music to my ears. I have been saying this for probably more than 10 years. More than 10 years. Don't come asking me for money when you have $1 billion in your bank account. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Don't come asking taxpayers, "Hey, man, can you help me out?" No, brother. It's bad enough I can hardly help out the lady on Saturday night to Stony Island. I ain't going to help you out, Virginia. No, you have money. So, and this is for all sports owners. You all are in a rare air. You was born into the right family. Most of you born into the right family. You have the funds. I don't want to hear it. You taxpayers right now are footing the bill for so much crap, and we're not getting really too much out of it for the most part. And now you want to come to me talking about you need some money for a stadium? Hey, if you don't get your ass up out of here. One book that everybody should read. Check out Bad Sports. Bad Sports: How Owners Ruining the Games We Love. It's by Dave Zirin. One of the best books you will ever read in your life. And this is, I first started to have these bubblings, Drew. Like, man, why is going back to Columbia? When I went to Columbia, graduated from Columbia College downtown, Chicago. And I remember either signing a petition or I think I might even use my feet, put on my marching shoes. This is when they removed seats for Soldier Field. They was doing a renovation to it. And they was asking the city for like millions of dollars. This was old man, well, not old man Daley, but Lil Daley. He was still in office. It's like, Joe, my student loans are going up. Everything is going up. Tuition's everything is going up. Why are they asking for money? A few years later, I read this book, and it was kind of like, damn it, I know I ain't crazy. So I love the fact that I'm hearing from politicians. This is not just in Chicago. This is kind of everywhere. This is the reason why Seattle, I believe Seattle left, the Supersonics left and went to Oklahoma, although the owner kind of stole them. I mean, kind of like, there's a whole other story. But you starting to see a lot of more municipalities, a lot more local officials say, no, we ain't giving you the money for it. So I'm happy the folks are on Arlington because they got bread out there. I'm happy to see that they like, no.
And in a positive sense, it's not just, on a positive sense, it's not just teams losing. Like you say, that was what a city lost the team. Mm-hmm. NFL, we know they got bank. Everybody got bank in the NFL. The trend has been teams have sort of gladly taken their own funding for stadiums. The stadium in LA was 100% privately funded. I think the stadium in New York was mostly privately funded. They get up an article now that I saw. I got some actual numbers to that degree, but the trend been actually the more private than public funding, because like you say, the cities are strapped, people are strapped, and the reasons for that's really wanting to hold on to a team in general. They're like they used to be. It's not, you can't like blackmail a city into giving all this tax money for a new stadium like you used to by saying, oh, well, you'll lose your town pride and all. People are trying to hear all that stuff. Like, they
man,
like,
I got DirecTV. I can watch everybody. I don't need your ass. Y'all lose nothing goddamn way.
Okay. You're right. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how Lori Moat came at him before. She been recently. Mm-hmm. But last year, Lori Moat.
What did you call her?
Yeah, you ain't hear about.
I have heard it. But I didn't expect you to say it.
Yeah, I'm serious. That's Lori. That's Lori Moat on the. I ain't gonna promote all that, but people know what I'm talking about. But now I'm gonna quote this from the Tribune right quick. This is what I got. Read some numbers from. Hold on, just a second. Yeah, like I said, it's been the trend where the Tribune's article. Actually, you can look up. It's drugs replace scramble for funding as Bears eye move to suburbs. Cities are smarter now. They say they're quoting Alderman here, Sophia King, who's her she's the alderman of the area where Soldier was in. Like they like we good on that. But okay, here we go. Between 1988 and 2003, 14 NFL stadiums opened, and all this 3 were majority funded by taxpayers. So it's of the 7 NFL stadiums between 98, taxpayers on average covered 80% of the cost of construction in Tampa Bay to 61 in Pittsburgh. But of the 7 stadiums built, taxpayers on average pay for just 20% construction costs, range 5% in Minneapolis to % in New York and Los Angeles. So yeah, there you go.
Right, like Drew. I ask you this: if you're a billionaire, you have the bread. Why would you want somebody else to have control over what you have? The one thing crazy about billionaires is kind of like, I rule the world. I can make my own little universe. Why do I have to worry? Why I got to worry about the alderman down on 103rd, making sure they give me funding? I'm a billionaire. I have the money. I want to own this. This should be mine. That's my way of thinking. True.
Well, even just breaking it down to the simplest thing, just why we've been talking. How many years we've been talking about the Bears and mismanagement and putting the poor product on the field? Why do I want to pay for y'all to just continue to do what y'all been doing? You know.
But that's how they manipulate in the past. That's how they manipulated fan bases and municipalities by saying, well, what is Chicago without the Bears? And people back in the day, people were like, what is Chicago without the Bears? Now it's like, well, it'll be a lot more space on the lake optimized. So that's how a lot of people are feeling.
Also, I think people.
It'll be easier to drive on this Lakeshore Drive on Sunday.
You damn right. That's for sure. You're right about that one, cuz I think people got to understand this too, with the simple fact of what we have now with technology. I make the joke kind of like, man, you know what I'm saying? I got DirecTV and I don't need to watch y'all bums because all y'all do is lose. That's very, very true in a sense. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm in a sense I'm being true. I'm telling the truth because you have fantasy football, you have packages that let you watch something going around the world. You aren't so much enclosed to where you are. We are now connected literally globally.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch you. I can watch something else. And that's another reason why I think you're starting to see these stadiums that like, I think SoFi costs like $6 billion. Damn, all y'all doing is playing football. No, that's not necessarily true. You got to have the bells and whistles to try to get people to come out of their basement, where I'm at right now, with a very nice TV and nice setup, to come out, spend money, will give you my money. I don't have to give you my money anymore. I can literally, a great TV, the bathroom is feet away, food, drinks, everything, and if I want to, sit back and watch you in my drawers. I ain't got to put the clothes on. So you got to do something for me. You know what I'm saying? You got to do something for me to really get me to come outside. I don't have to come outside.
Well,
hell, this is pre-pandemic.
Why a lot of these stadiums, they're pre-COVID. Yeah. You're right. That development started COVID and
pre-COVID.
You got two like with the stadiums. You know, they got you got them wired up as it were. You know, with Wi-Fi and everything. And another big happened because of legal gambling is sports books. The Bears actually won. The Bears actually have wanted. There's been some reports that they wanted a sports book in any type of reconstruction of Soldier Field. It's pretty much guaranteed that it's going to on that some type of sports book is going to be on that Arlington Heights campus. So, you know, that property. So yeah, that's part of it too. Like, come on, spend your money with us. Come on and bet with us. And you know, and you can do that all year. That's part of it. That's a big part of it too, because you know, all year revenue,
all year long.
People talk about there's only so much you could do with Soldier Field. You can't have Final Four and have WrestleManias there. You know, me and you. That's big. That's big for us. Like, you know, you can't have.
I would love to go see a WrestleMania in Chicago.
You can't have Super Bowls there, even though this is the one I'm gonna show Super Bowl. Look, don't get whenever this Arlington Heights deal gets set up, don't be expecting the Bears to have Super Bowls there every 4 years. They'll have one there within the first years of the building, because that's what the NFL does. They did it in Minnesota, they did it for Detroit, they did it for Indianapolis. You put up the big building. They'll gift you the Super Bowl within the first 10 years. But the rotation is this: Miami, New Orleans, LA, Phoenix, Tampa. That's the rotation. And maybe Atlanta.
Not even Atlanta? Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah.
I say maybe Atlanta every now and then. There's a couple other southern, cities they'll do every now. Dallas, yeah, Dallas too, yeah. But ain't nobody trying to come to Chicago every year in mid-February for the Super Bowl. Stop that thing.
Not to drive to Arlington. Not to drive to Arlington.
Not to drive to Arlington.
I'm not even doing it. I'm not doing it.
Like a lot of big events will take place in that building, that new building with us, but it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be what people think it is. It's not.
No, just look at the NBA. How long did it take for the United Center or the Chicago to get another All-Star game back over here?
Damn, 30 years.
Wow.
And we
that was old man Reinsdorf. That's old man Reinsdorf.
Yeah, a lot of that was on Reinsdorf.
That's on Reinsdorf.
At the same time, cause it's the same deal. Like, who's trying to come here in mid-February? We was lucky that year. The weather was actually nice that week.
It was nice.
But
it was nice. Yeah.
It just was cold and snowy and stuff. But but that's the best we can hope for in mid-February. That is bone cold and there's not a bunch of ice and sleet everywhere putting us all up and making people slide to each other anyway.
Well, all I gotta say is if y'all if you're leaving, goodbye. It was a great run on your own stuff. I ain't tripping. No.
All I know is if I'm gonna be having credentials to go out there, that damn Metro better run on time. If that's the case, man. That Metro better drop us off right in front of the stadium.
Listen, I if there was a move out there, I'm sure I would go to one. You know what I'm saying? I've done plenty of things at Soldier Field for media, all kind of stuff like that. So it doesn't have the allure like it once had. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, oh man, it's Soldier Field. But
I'm not against moving out of Soldier Field at all. I'm not against moving out of Soldier Field.
They had their chance. No. They could have put a dome. They could have knocked down old McCormick Place. Rest in peace, Airy Crown Theater, because I know they're gonna shuffle y'all ass right up in there. But they had that chance. I thought they was gonna do it back in the early 2000s, but they didn't have the chance. I don't know why they didn't do it. But we gotta remember the McCaskies. This is their only bread and butter. This ain't like these like. This is OG.
And they're the only franchise that don't own their stadium. I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
How you the oldest franchise? Yeah, you're right. They've mom and popped it for 100 years. You the oldest franchise in the league, and you the only one that don't own your stadium because you mom and popped it for 100 years. That's on them. But anyway, like I said, we could do another hour complaining about the Bears roasting them, but like I said, let's talk about these good teams before. But let's do the CSC. Let's do the CSC right quick. Are you buying or selling the Bears after this week? The bet strictly on the field.
Oh,
well,
Drew said, No. Drew said, "Ain't no way they can go back to Andy." Drew, there it is. I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's happening.
It would not shock me. I don't think I'm gonna lean towards what Drew is selling, but it wouldn't shock me if Andy was out there playing against Las Vegas. Wouldn't shock me at all because I don't think Nagy is ready to give up the reins just yet. I think he even knows that he's not all the way there just yet. And he's going to use it as an excuse to say, Andy's our number one. Andy give us the best chance to go further within the season. I'm going to put him in. I'm not sold on them. Not at all. Not yet. They played against them. I call them Motor City Kitties. They played against the Detroit Lions, man. They're not a good team. Motor City Kid. They're not a good team. They're not a good team right now. So isn't always,
they're never a good team.
They're not. But wait a minute, I'm not a really big conspiracy theorist. I swear to you, I'm not. But why is all the time every time the Bill Lazor, call plays for a crappy ass team, they end up winning? Can you? I like to see him play against it. I like to see him play or give calls against a really good team.
Yeah,
I think the Raiders are actually going to be a pretty good team.
Yeah,
I think they might actually make. I don't know.
They've had a good start.
They got a good start. So let me see what Bill Lazor is doing against a good team. Now, if Bill Lazor sucks and he can't call a good game against the Raiders, all right, Nagy, at least you have a little bit more leeway to say, all right, let me go ahead and do my thing. But the thing is, I don't know if he's, like I said before, man enough to do that. So I'm not sold on him just yet. No.
Yeah, no, I'm selling the Bears because if we're talking if especially if Nagy's thought process is I got to put Dalton back in because he's gonna get us farther. Because farther where? Yeah. Like I had them going 7-10. Like the
unemployment line.
The coaches can't never say this, obviously, because they whatever. But the goal for this season isn't really about wins and losses as much as it is about Fields gaining experience, so that next season there's a better chance for him to take off. Whether you believe that he will or not, or the team around him can put him in a position to or not, that's what this goal or the goal for the season should be.
But Drew,
and I say that goes again back to what I said with expectations. That goes back to what I said with expectations. That's a team with a plan that's reasonable of expectations. But I could guarantee you more people than not in Hallis Hall right now think we could get in this playoffs if we just win the next couple games. We could get in these playoffs, and that's not the way they should be thinking.
Hey, look, something that my mom has taught me dealing with my soon-to-be ex-wife: you can't reason with unreasonable people. Like you just can't.
Preach it.
Preach it.
Drew. Just quarter the night, Drew.
Hopefully she ain't watching because we're still in court. So Drew. you might have to edit that out, Kyle.
Letting us in, man. I didn't expect that.
Oh man, Judge, he called me unreasonable. Judge, he said I'm unreasonable.
Because we gonna get caught up, man. We gonna be witnesses.
I know, right?
Stuff now, man. I'm sorry, I didn't implicate y'all. I apologize.
Like Judge, I just met this brother. I don't know what's going on.
Right. He seemed all right to me when we came on there, man. He just let out his emotions at some point, though. But
I know.
To bring it back, though.
That's real, though, Drew. You can't reason with unreasonable.
You're absolutely right, D. Lazor should be given play calling duties for at least the foreseeable future, if for nothing else, to get a bigger sample of what it is he can do. Because we only seen him against teams that are a whole bunch of buts. Like we need to see him do it against better competition because we already know what Nagy can do. Let us grow this sample size with Lazor so we can figure out, is he really this good or was the competition just not that great? You know, we got to figure it out one way or the other.
And again, the schedule will reveal a lot for the team. Like, you got a road contest against a winning team that, you know, like you trying to win team and here on the road this coming Sunday. That you got the Packers, and that's where I think a lot is about the way that they want to handle the tier because they stress over the Packers. So if they have some success this week and next week, and then they're confident enough to keep the train going against the Packers, that'll be a positive. That'll be something to buy. But if they switch up everything after this game because the Packers in, I gotta start calling plays again, you know, because I don't trust Lazor, and then that's something that I can't buy. So right now I'm holding on the Bears myself. But yeah, let's like I said, we did done enough Bears talk. We'll get back to that later this week. Check out our stuff on WARR Ready on Substack. You know, you got Ryan Bukoveski with the 4th and goals and all that. We'll have more bit for you coming up this week. But let's get to the game where I was at yesterday. The Sky and Wintrust just a really great time. They won 87-83 over Connecticut to go up 2-1 in the WNBA semifinals. They're one game away from their second ever berth in the WNBA finals. And it looks like they may have a chance to have a rematch with the team they played against in that previous finals, the Phoenix Mercury. And it's pretty exciting time. I think it's really great to have a team that, of course, you can offset against the Bears and the dysfunction there. We the Sox too, of course. We'll get to the Sox in a minute, but the Sky are a team that we talked a lot about them last week in the way that they've seemingly been undercover, not undercover, but not covered enough, so not made as much of a big deal as you would like, because people don't take, whatever reason, people don't take women's basketball seriously. I don't know, but what I saw yesterday in that building was real pro stuff. It was real playoff basketball. It was exciting. The fans were excited. They were into it. They were rooting for their team with everything. And the way that the game played out, it was so much back and forth involved. You were seeing really high-level play, basketball being played by high-level players. Connecticut got the MVP of the league, Jontel Jones. They got the most improved player in the league this year, the coach of the year. And they were fighting. They were number one in the playoffs. They were fighting, man. But the Sky got so ballers, man. They had a key 18-4 run in the second half. They, their girl Kalia Copper, man, she is such a hooper, man. She is amazing to see in person. She was killing them 26 points. Vandersloot, all type of dimes and stuff, quickly hitting shots. She had about 20 something. You had, of course, the big star, Candace Parker, had a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Azare Stevens was, very great in the post, the rebounding. Like, this is a team that has it all. This is a team that we were looking at the beginning of the season. They came out, had injury issues and stuff, and they were more or less a 500 team in the regular season. But they've won, what they played in the playoffs, and they're playing their best ball now, and they're looking like a team that could look. Well, if you coming into 2021, what would have been the team that you thought would have been the next to win a championship here in Chicago? Probably the White Sox, right?
I'll say the White Sox. Yeah. But the Sky look like they could jump the line, man. They could win the title before the White Sox and bring a title home to Chicago.
I say this tongue in cheek, but man, were they just testing our faith like this whole regular season? Because they was going back and forth and up and down, and now they were probably playing like the team that everybody envisioned they would be. It's exciting, like you said. I was able to catch a little bit on TV. It looked like the place was rocking. I know you guys, but man, they playing, like I just said, like the team everybody thought they would be. I feel like I don't want to jinx nothing, man, but they got 2 tries to get one game.
It's just the situation you want to be in as a lower seed. They took home court advantage. Like you say, they got a 2-for-1 shot now. It's a 5-game series, so they win. It's Wednesday I want to see that place packed, man, as much as possible. There's no what else you gonna do on a Wednesday night? You got a chance to see a team clinching a final spot here in Chicago, man. Go out to the Wintrust Arena, man. Have some fun and watch that team play, man. That like I say, pack the Wintrust. I'm gonna do the hashtag pack the Wintrust, man, for Wednesday, man. So let's see that happen. But that's the situation. They win Wednesday, they're in the finals. But even if they can't make it, they still got the bye that had to go to Connecticut to do it. But they did win a game with Connecticut already. So hey.
And they playing against the best team with the hottest team. The Sun came in winning 14 in a row, and they already dropped 2 already.
Yeah, they were really hot. They may have been hurt though by not. they may have been hurt though by having that double bye that you get as the number 1 seed. You know, the Sky got
the
to
WNBA want to do that again.
Play it to themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that. I saw the matchups. I mean, the breakdown of the playoffs. I was like, I don't know if that's good to have that long of a layoff because you look at Vegas, they're going through the same thing right now with the Mercury. So
exactly. So you talking about the top 2
layoff? Yeah,
that's the top 2 seeds. Cause if the NBA has something like that, there'll be all sorts of
good Lord,
hell being raised if the top 2 seeds was falling out like that in the NBA, man.
Yeah. You had so many HCs win the championships, they'll lose their mind. But no, I don't know if the WNBA want to do that again. But hey, listen, we in the time of right now, and it's working for the Chicago Sky's advantage. The one player that I want to see, the one player I want to see a little bit more for. I know that she coming off the bench. She had a couple of big shots in game 1 against the Sun. That's Diamond DeShields. I like Diamond. I like the way she plays, and she's a baller too, man. She's a baller. She's got there. She's scrappy. She gets the rebounds. She gives you good big shots. She's choking from the 3. I'm still waiting for her to really get it clicking, because I think if they can get her off the bench and she's clicking, that's really good. And it was great to see that Quinn had like 20-something points. The second game they played in the Sun, she had a kind of an off game. It really didn't really do that well. So I'm just waiting for a few players to really get clicking, because I like their chances against Phoenix. I like their chances against Las Vegas, either one of them, because they play defense. They up and down in the court, and with Van Sloot running the 1, she's going to get everybody involved. And what's great too, Candace Parker brings that experience there, and great with great rebounding. So if you get all that going together, and what is it for the finals? Is it best 4 out of 7 in the WNBA, or is 3 out of 5 still?
Well, it's a 5 series too.
3 out of 5.
It's 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. Anything can happen. As we see it right now, they're going against the hottest team, and they're probably about to take them out possibly Wednesday night. So they have everything you need for a championship team. And we thought that this was going to be this was the team we thought was going to see at the beginning of the season. Hey man, right now, if it's working right now, you cook it right now, keep moving on with it. Right. Have a chance to win a ring.
We see it a lot in baseball in a second, but when you have the hottest team at the end of the season slide through October and they snatch that championship, this could be the case in the WNBA. But right quick, I agree with you on Diamond. She's a great athlete, daughter of Delino DeShields, 90s baseball fan. But she's been sort of up and down all year, and I think
she has been,
it sort of that's a tough thing to see. She's still trying to develop, but it speaks to the depth that the Sky have, where a player like her can relatively underperform, and they still got enough talent to get themselves as far as they've gotten, and other players like a Kalia Copper can fill that void and be the playmaker that we was kind of hoping Diamond would be.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like not enough has been said about how much Diamond has sacrificed, because she was starting before, right?
She's adjusting
to a new role. So I think that I haven't heard that discussed a lot. I know she's been up and down, kind of like how this team has been up and down, but leaving the wobble early last year and injuries and coming back to this season in a new role than what she's been accustomed to, that needs to be talked about more, what she's done to help this team, albeit in a different role than what she's accustomed to.
Well, I think she definitely should. I agree with you, Drew. She could get credit about, I don't know, sacrifice so much, because I think if she was playing at a certain level, she probably would be starting. But I think part of it was just the adjustment. There was adjustment that was needed amongst the whole team. You got a player that my girl, I forget her name, but they wound up trading her at the end of the season. Probably because of her duties to the French national team. But but she was a player too who was sort of like out of place with the stuff that was happening with the team and the roster and them bringing in Candace and all that. So there was adjustments that was being made throughout the roster, and some players dealt with it better than others, But like I said, I think it comes down to ability to play and to be a team player. And I'll definitely give Diamond the credit there. I think she has been a team player, and the team that they got now is optimized right now for playoff ball. They're playing, like I say, they're playing the best ball. Next year, maybe they'll be able to step up more, be able to keep it. But right now, she could definitely be an X factor in the remaining games. Somebody who, just show up and show out in a game or two, and maybe tilt again their balance if they need her to. But at the same time, like I said, they too. If Kalia's still balling, if Quiggs and Vanderson balling, if the big player, the post players are balling, what else would you really need?
Yeah, I'm hoping they can do it. I'm hoping they can do it.
Yeah,
for sure.
They definitely can. They came away Wednesday. I'm gonna be there. Hope for y'all in this. See if you can try to be there too. But we talked. Like I said again, we talked last week about the coverage and stuff because there's been people. Shout out to Annie Constable. I met her yesterday for the Sun Times. Cool. She's really been flying flag for that team. James K was out there. My man James K. He was on the show last week. Chris said he's gonna be there, man, but he was sick, man. I'm like, I hope he ain't come down with the COVID this morning, man.
Quadrant Kitty wasn't there. Quadrant Kitty wasn't there.
Kitty there. No, he wasn't. Coughing up fur balls or something, man.
Oh my God! Don't put him out there like that, cuzzo. It was crazy when I saw him at the first game. They played the first round. The first,
Dallas.
Elimination game. Dallas, yeah.
Dallas,
Yeah, I'm watching the game, and who stands up in this big old self right in the camera? I was like, is that Chris? I'm like, wait a minute. I think Chris, I just saw Chris at the game. So I know he's been, man, listen, I know Chris has been, he's been covering them for a while. I got the podcast doing that for a while, man. Chris has put in, he's put in the work, and he knows this team in the league overall, like the back of his hands, man. So if I need to know anything goes to Chicago Sky, I go to Chris, man. He is serious, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Shout out to Ricky O'Donnell I saw down there. Shout out to Illy, man, the boy Illinois. He a big Sky fan, man. He was I
saw him repping on Twitter today.
Yeah, so it's a lot of folks was down there. Like there's some Bulls down there, it was coincidentally the injured Bulls was down there. Kobe White and and P. Patrick Williams was down there, but they've been for a while. A lot of Bulls.
Yeah. I think DeMar was there too, wasn't
he?
I think so. Yeah, he was. Yeah, so like I say, real recognize real when it comes to basketball. Ballers recognize the ball. It doesn't matter your sex, your gender, whatever. And that's why I respect the league and the players in it because. I'd rather be on the side of Kobe and DeMar and P. Will and not, your overweight uncle who still thinks he could back down Liz Cambage or something,
I know, right? Big Liz.
But yeah, big fine. But anyway.
You ain't lying about that one, because
let's wrap. Huh?
No, go ahead.
What you say? I thought you said something. But anyway, definitely buying the Sky. Definitely buying the Sky, of course, given their success. And buying the White Sox, man, 93 and 69 final record. Division winners, the AL Central, biggest division winners in all of Major League Baseball. There's a lot of crazy races. But I kind of appreciate that. We really been able to have a chill here on the South Side because, like I said, we ain't have any of that stress that they've had the AL and NL wild card races. The AL West was crazy. Their division, and and a lot of fighting was being done throughout the summer, but the White Sox wasn't having none of that. They went out and they got theirs early, and now they're going to be playing Houston in the that's the division series on Thursday. Game 1 and 2, Houston. First game at guaranteed rate will be Sunday. I'm to more Sox games than anybody who isn't on the roster this year. So, what's your thoughts on the team, man? And how does it feel for the team to be? They had the run last year. It was a nice run, nice pleasant surprise. It didn't have all the sense that we could have. It didn't have all the excitement that we could have had of it because us fans couldn't be there and everything. And they got dumped out unceremoniously early by Oakland. But do you think it's going to be a different story this year?
It should be. So I did I had season passes, 10-game season pass with I got Tony Gill and over at NBC Sports Chicago, podcast king over there. But we actually got a chance to sit and watch the game with Herb Lawrence, executive producer of the Lawrence Home Show down at 670 Score, our big pro. And we was kind of talking about it. And I was like, I can see them making the ALCS. Like I think I can see them beating Houston. 3-game series. 3 out of 5. They're playing great right now. The bats are going well right now. You got your closer locked down with Hendricks. Starting rotation, definitely you have Rodon can go out there get you some, although he's kind of had the tail end of the season wasn't the best, but he's still there. So the pitching is there. So I like them, but the only thing that worries me still is the consistency with the offense. Can they put up enough runs? Because they're going through some lows. Like I've been in plenty of games this year, and it was like bases loaded, 1 out, and they don't get nothing. It's like, damn, come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to get something. You got to be able to get some more runs. But you know what? When it comes down to baseball, man, we all know this: pitching and defense. That's what gets you championships. That's what happened in 2005. They had the best pitching and they had the best defense, and they literally won. I believe the stat was they won their very first game 1-0, 1-0, and they won the Game 4 of the World Series 1-0. Pitching, defense. That's what you need right there. Hopefully we can see it because I've seen some bad errors in the outfield. Oh my God. It's been like my man's what are you doing out there? Thank God. Eloy
is an adventure in left.
Brother.
Always in the picture, man.
It's always an adventure. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's cool when it's like August 9th and ain't nothing to play. Like, damn, okay, that was kind of funny. I don't want to see that in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, my God, I want to see that. You know what I'm saying? So thankfully you got Robert out there. But I think they got a good chance. I think they have a good chance to beat Houston. It wouldn't shock me if they took out Houston, 40 games, 5 games. It wouldn't surprise me. ALCS, like one of the first games me and Tony saw was against Tampa Bay, like the beginning of the season. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Tampa had a little something coming into the season, but man, they had a great season. And I think the game he was at, the White Sox beat them.
That's just a well-run machine down there, man.
It is. You 100% right, Cuzzo. It's a well-run machine. Now, if you have to play against them, I don't know. But I think they can take out Houston. So my prediction right now, I can see the Sox going to the ALCS. Yes, I can see that. Yes.
So I mean, let me just say this. Y'all seen Creed 2?
Yeah.
I feel like a large majority of Sox fans on Twitter, they need to be reminded of something that Michael B. Jordan's character said, and that's, Houston is dangerous, but damn it, we're dangerous too. You know what I'm saying? Like I know there's questions about the bullpen, there's questions about the defense, the offense, like you said, but man, they have what they need. It's just a matter of it all clicking when it needs to click.
Right.
And have they nailed down their rotation?
Rotation. Yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't heard any.
I don't know. So that's a problem. Right. That's the thing. So this is where you have to see the experience of Tony La Russa play in, because there's plenty of times throughout the season, like, man, what are you doing? Like, you mind getting the guy up in the bullpen? You see Giolito or you see somebody don't have it no more. Like, man, what's up? Why? So this is where you're going to really see if Tony La Russa expertise comes into play, because this is why they hired him. Mm-hmm. Ricky Renteria, he was like, okay, yeah, you can kind of set up. Now let's bring somebody in who can kind of like master this, who has mastered this, and see if they can do it. So this is now really on Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa. A manager can't win you games, but they can sure in the hell lose you games. So let's see what happens.
Let me ask y'all this. I know going into last playoffs, they lost like 8 of their last 10. This time around, though, almost completely reversed. They've won 7 of the last 10. Does that give y'all a little bit more kind of like that silver lining going into the postseason? Because I know Kyle last week before we were talking about like, man, they need to turn it up.
Yeah, like I said, like I said on the previous show, like I needed to see some more of them. I think I've seen some better play this week against Cincinnati, who was for a while a playoff contender themselves.
They were. Detroit, the St. Louis Cardinals caught on fire.
Man. Oh yeah, they got everybody. That's another thing. You know, I'm gonna do my predictions right quick on both sides, but it's basically I seen enough of the Sox to where I do feel better about them than I did a week or 2 weeks ago, and I'm with you because I think they will survive the Houston series. I'm not sure about so much about the Rays series, but you know, I think they will survive the Houston series.
But that's if the Rays can make it. Do the Rays got to play the Yankees or the Red Sox? So, I mean, you made it to the dance. You made it to the dance. Anything can happen. We've seen crazier things. We've seen lower seeds, wild cards win World Series before. Baseball is so funny. I mean, you never know. We all know this. One pitch could change the series. I remember watching when Boston came back 3-0 to beat the Yankees, and I think they went on to win a World Series that year. So, and that was an ALCS, you know. So that was a the big play was a steal at second base, changed the entire series around. So baseball is just so unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. So I'm with you, Cuzzo. I'm glad to see they turn it up at the last end of the season. They was able to get something going. Drew, we'll see what comes with the pitching, with the starting lineup. I mean, starting rotation. Just give me 3 guys, give me 3 horses, man, and just run them out there. Bullpen, use y'all until you can't use you no more. Goddamn it! Get to the next round and we fine. Just do what you need to do. So it's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah, it seems like right now La Russa's going back and forth on is it gonna be Giolito or Lynn starting game 1.
I hope it's Lynn.
Yeah,
I hope it's Lynn.
You might want to go with Lynn.
Yeah. It should be Lynn. Oh, I would say Cease and then Rodon. Maybe you would see if those are your 3 guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Rodon was kind of iffy at the last end, at tail end of the season.
That soreness, right? That velocity.
Yeah, that velocity. Man, that's going to get smacked. It's going to get smacked. The Astros don't need a garbage can for that. They can see that coming a mile away. So. So you definitely got to get that. So I think it should be Lynn, Cease, and then Rodon, but if not, it should be Lynn, Cease, and then Giolito. Hopefully that's what happens. We'll see.
That's a good strategy. Even Rodon and Giolito for the home games. I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Oh, we'll see. I think going back to the league overall, you know, I think MLB should be pretty happy too with the 2 wild card games they got. You really got like the 4 most prestigious franchises in the league in these games. You got the Red Sox and Yankees in the AL. You got the Cardinals and the Dodgers in the NL games. I think I would say that the Yankees and the don't get out of those games, and I think the Dodgers are going to get past. Yeah, I think the Dodgers are going to get past the Giants too, and win and get into the NLCS. I would go with the Rays over either the Red Sox or the Yankees, and Rays against the Sox. I just go with the Sox for my heart, but I don't think the Sox are going to win it all this year. I may say I may do another baseball thing later this week, so I'll hold out my reasoning for that. But I think it's going to be too much of a gauntlet, and I think the Sox still have a year where they could be like, okay, much like the Cubs lost in 15. And then they came back in 16. It was like, okay, we know what we can do now to win it all. I think that may be the situation for the Sox. You take another step forward, but you don't get it. But then next in 22, there's no excuses anymore. So that's kind of my thinking there. But I would say the World Series I have right now is the Sox, Dodgers, and the Dodgers leaving as back-to-back champs.
A nice throwback to the 1959 World Series between the Dodgers and the White Sox.
Yeah.
1959.
They played that.
Yeah,
that was I love the pictures of them playing in the LA Coliseum, which it made no sense to play that baseball in that stadium because it's like they had like you had to hit the ball 600 feet to the other and they had like 500 feet of extra space because of how big that stadium.
Yeah, it was a landfill, right? Wasn't like an open landfill or something they was playing in. The Dodger Stadium was like an open landfill, something like that. It was like.
Well, that was they building Dodger Stadium at that time.
Okay.
I think like they were clearing out the space that they were, and there's a lot of controversy behind it. They displaced a lot of our Mexican brothers and sisters to get that stadium.
Kind of sounds like what happened with SoFi Inglewood. Sounds like what happened with SoFi Inglewood.
Yeah, it usually with a lot of these stadiums, there's some bad stories behind them because a lot of them have been placed in poor neighborhoods. So it's like, who getting the raw end of that deal. That's why you got to give the Bears at least they dipsters and rich folk for their plans. They ain't put the stadium Roseland or something.
Very true.
Anyway,
very true.
Let's wrap this up, man. This was another great one, man. I appreciate you guys, Drew, as always, and because always great to have to talk with you, man. So let people know how to follow you, D. Who don't already, most who watch the show already know, but people know what's up with you.
Yeah, man, you can follow me on Twitter at Demons1, DEMONZE1. Same thing with Instagram. Is Instagram back up? What happened? The lady went on 60 Minutes and everything got shut down. Damn.
We may have to put out a TikTok now in the future.
I know, right? I know, right? TikTok D. No, but definitely follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Demons1. Like I said, man, definitely keep rocking it with WARR. I don't know, man. I sometimes I get the itch to go up to write about something, but then it's kind of like I'm saying, kind of like this retirement type stuff. But this is always good though. I love you. I love y'all when y'all kind of like will me out of retirement. You know what I'm saying? Will me out. Will me in front of a camera.
Of course he does.
Do my thing.
Of course he does.
And y'all can will my ass right back out, and I could be gone for a while. So I always love that. Just to come out there,
right? That's what he likes. He likes leave more so than he likes.
I do. I get to come in and do my little thing, get the hell out of here. That's what I do. Hey
man, I was gonna say
ahead,
I appreciate the time because I've listened to you before. I've read what you the times that you've been able to pen stuff, man. So it's an honor to be able to chop it up with you for the first time, man. Hopefully it's another time coming soon.
Don't give him a big head, Drew.
Hey, listen.
Give him a big
Hey man, listen.
We gotta pass these flowers, man. We gotta get these flowers out, man.
Hey man, listen. I've been able to. It's been some times out in the street, man. I'll be like, hey D, what's going on, man? It's like, yeah, I gotta give you your flowers, man. Come on my radio show. I'm like, I already don't talk. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll come on there. So, but no, man, it's always good to come on, man. And obviously, Cuzzo inviting me on is always good. And we can always chop it up and do whatever, man. But we, you know what I'm saying, it's blood, it's family, you know what I'm saying, ain't going nowhere, never. So whenever he make the call, he make the ask, you know what I'm saying, now you know I'm gonna be here. But no, man, it's always fun. It's always fun, man.
And I love that shirt, man. Wu-Tang forever. Yes.
Yes. I gotta start watching season 2. I haven't started watching the show yet.
You gotta get into it immediately, man.
All right.
Immediately.
Okay.
Stop playing.
Man, just to think about.
I think I'm gonna wait till all the episodes are released myself.
It should be it's probably damn near over by now. How long it's been on? And man, this is the thing, man. I watching so many shows now with the missus because I ain't got to do stuff like this no more. Before it's kind of like, oh, I got to do my show. I got to do something. You know what I'm saying? Now it's kind of like, man, I guess I got to watch this show. So yeah, we got like 10 shows on the plate. We haven't got to it yet. So I love the first season. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get into it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, Drew, yeah, I got your tag at the bottom there. Look what Drew did. Definitely keep up with what he's doing, and of course, mine means matters. You know, I'm out here doing. I need to get on the deep plan and start turning down stuff now. I'm starting to get a little too busy, but I got some more.
Keep it going, Cuzzo.
No, I'm just playing. I'm actually enjoying myself right now. I got some good stuff going on, so keep it with me, and definitely keep up with WARR Media. And yeah, we'll be back soon, man. We'll definitely be back next week with more Monday night memes. It's trying to make it the better night of the week for all of us, you know. And you know, to that degree, you know, they got Big E on Monday Night Raw now. You gonna start watching that again?
Yeah, man. You know, hey, man, I'm like Issa Rae, root for everybody black. So yeah, I'm definitely out.
Right, we got some black champions in WWE, man. We gotta hold them down.
The black champions. Oh my God, Vince is probably just going crazy right now. Back to back black champions. Oh. We
gotta keep the ratings on before we give it to Sheamus or somebody again. You know, he gotta give it to. if you see the black champion don't keep the ratings up, he gonna give it to the whitest man he can outside of.
Hey man. Listen, we move needles, we do big things. Just rock with the black folks. They listen to us. Take you a long way. Save the countries in this moment.
If you've been rocking with WARR, you should have been on that. So that's what's up.
That's right.
We go sign off there for now, though. Great time, y'all. Hope y'all enjoy your week. Yeah. Be safe out there, and yeah, let's go Sox, man. Let's go Skytown, baby.
Let's go Sox. That's right. Thank you, brothers, man. Love y'all, man. Keep doing the damn thing.
Yes, sir.
That's right. All right, we out. See you.